My fiancé cheated with my best friend, and my family helped them keep it a secret. This story is from Reddit and was posted by a user called Penelopez_me. Let's go ahead and keep this channel alive and hit that subscribe button to never miss out on crazy stories. I noticed a shift the moment I stepped into my parents' house. Everyone was smiling too hard, laughing too loud. The kind of laughter that comes out of people who already know the punchline to a joke you're not in on. I brought Jason, my fiancé of 3 years, with me like I always did for Sunday dinner, but that night something felt different. Off. Like I was walking into a party thrown in my honor, right before someone hit the lights and yelled, "Surprise. We've all been lying to you." At the time, I didn't know just how right I was. That night marked the beginning of a long, brutal unraveling. Not just of my relationship, not just of my trust, but of my entire family. Every person I thought loved me had been sitting on a ticking bomb of betrayal, and I was the last one to hear it explode. Jason and I met at university. I was a third-year psychology major, and he was working towards his MBA. He had that golden retriever energy, warm, charming, eager to help, and my friends all loved him from the start. But no one bonded with him more than my best friend, Peach. Yes, Peach. That was her actual nickname, given to her by her grandmother when she was a toddler, and it stuck. Peach and I had been best friends since middle school. She was the kind of friend who knew every shade of my mood just by the way I sighed. The kind of friend you tell secrets to before you tell your therapist. I trusted her with everything. And that's exactly what made it so easy for her to get close to Jason. The signs were there. That hindsight kind of clarity doesn't come until later, but the pieces were all lined up in plain sight. Peach and Jason started texting each other more often after the first year of our engagement. At first, it was innocent enough. Jason said I should bring over wine tonight, or hey, Jason told me you had a rough week. Wanna talk? But it started shifting. I'd see her screen light up when we were out together, and she'd flip her phone over. I'd ask what Jason said, and she'd just laugh and say, "Oh, it's nothing." Just teasing me about that dumb show we watched last week. I even joked once, "Should I be jealous?" She didn't miss a beat. Please. Jason's like a brother. A brother who apparently liked sexting after midnight. The real unraveling started the day Peach came over wearing one of Jason's hoodies. It was a gray Columbia sweater, nothing flashy, but I remember that hoodie because Jason always wore it on our chill date nights. The last time I saw it, it was on the floor of our bedroom after a movie night. I hadn't been able to find it since. I asked Peach where she got it. She froze, gave a weird laugh, and said, "Oh, Jason lent it to me when I got cold a few weeks ago." Weeks ago. I hadn't known Jason saw Peach a few weeks ago without me. That was the first time I got truly screamed. I started snooping. Not something I'm proud of, but in relationships, your instincts are rarely wrong. First, I checked Jason's phone while he was in the shower. It was locked, but I knew his passcode. He didn't bother changing it. What I found made my stomach drop. Deleted messages. Hundreds of them. But not gone enough. I opened his message history with Peach. There were barely 10 messages there. That was suspicious in itself. Peach and Jason used to send memes and stupid TikToks all the time. Now their thread was dry. But when I went into the recently deleted folder, it was like stepping into a parallel universe. Messages like, "Last night was insane. Still thinking about you. Don't wear that to dinner tonight. You'll drive me crazy. Do you think she suspects anything? I dreamt about you again. And worst of all, can't believe your parents are okay with this. It's wild." My heart dropped into my knees. I sat on the cold bathroom floor while Jason hummed in the shower, completely unaware that his world was about to collapse. But the part that really shattered me, that last message meant my parents knew. I didn't confront Jason that night. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Instead, I started digging. I called in sick from work the next day and went to my parents' house. I told Mom I just missed her and wanted to spend the day baking. She looked uneasy but didn't push me away. I asked questions. Casual ones. "How do you think Jason and Peach get along?" She hesitated. "Well, they seem a little too close sometimes, don't you think?" "Oh, really?" I said. "What makes you say that?" She laughed it off, then said the line that confirmed everything. "Well, it's not our place to judge. Relationships are complicated." Later that week, I called my brother. Just to talk. He always had a neutral head on his shoulders. I asked him point blank, "Did you know Jason and Peach are sleeping together?" He went quiet, then said, "I thought you knew." That was it. The moment. That sentence undid everything. I didn't explode right away. I needed a plan. Something slow. Something devastating. They wanted to keep secrets. I was going to give them a secret worth keeping. That night, I texted Jason and told him we needed to talk. I told him I was planning a small engagement party, just friends and family. It's going to be intimate, I said. Only the people who really matter. He was thrilled. That's a great idea, he said. Let me know if I can help. Oh, I would. Jason had no idea what I was planning. Neither did Peach. Neither did my parents. Or my brother. They were all too busy pretending that everything was still normal, laughing in group chats, sharing Pinterest boards about wedding colors, pretending to be a happy, connected family. It was exhausting watching them act. But I didn't stop them, because I needed every one of them to keep playing their part right up until the final scene. The idea of throwing an engagement party wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was strategic. I'd already confirmed their affair. I'd already confirmed my family knew. Now I needed everyone in one room. Trapped, surrounded by witnesses. So I started planning. Nothing over the top. Just a small, intimate celebration, like I told Jason. Around 30 people, close friends, some extended family, and a few of Jason's coworkers who always liked me more than him anyway. I handpicked the guest list to ensure the right audience. Then I created the invitation. White and gold. Elegant cursive. Please join us in celebrating the engagement of Jason and my name. There will be dinner, drinks, and a very special announcement. I sent it out with a smile on my face. The very special announcement part made a few people curious. My mother even asked if I was pregnant. I said, something like that. In the 2 weeks leading up to the party, Jason was unusually sweet. It made me sick. He brought home flowers, cooked dinner, even suggested we go away for a weekend after the party to reconnect. It was probably guilt, or maybe he just wanted to distract me. Either way, I played along. Every night, I kissed him goodnight and thought about the screenshots saved on my hidden flash drive. I didn't sleep much. The night of the party arrived. We held it at my parents' house, the same house where the affair had been quietly tolerated and swept under the rug for months. That made it poetic. I wanted to destroy everything in the exact place it began. Everyone was dressed up. The house looked stunning. Candlelight, white roses, soft jazz playing through the Bluetooth speakers. It felt like something out of a romantic movie. Jason looked incredible in his navy suit. He smiled when he saw me in my wine-red dress, kissed my forehead and whispered, "You look beautiful." I said, "Thank you. You won't forget tonight." By 8 p.m., most guests had arrived. Peach walked in just after 8:15, wearing a soft pink cocktail dress and that same damn smile she always wore when she thought no one could see through her. My mother rushed over to hug her. My brother gave her a glass of wine. Jason's eyes flicked toward her just a little too long. I took a deep breath. It was time. I stood near the front of the living room where we'd cleared space for speeches. Jason wrapped his arm around my waist. I tapped my glass. The room quieted. "Hi, everyone," I began. "Thank you so much for coming tonight. I know this was a bit last minute, but we really wanted to celebrate with the people we love most." Nods and smiles. "I promised a very special announcement tonight," I continued. "And I'll get to that. But first, I want to say a few words about love." Jason squeezed my hand. I almost laughed. "Love is supposed to be safe," I said. "It's supposed to be where you go when the world gets ugly. It's where you're supposed to be your most honest self." People were nodding along. "But sometimes love is a lie," I said. "Sometimes. Love is the prettiest disguise for betrayal." I looked straight at Jason. His smile faltered. Then I turned toward the guests and spoke a little louder. "I found out something recently," I said. "Something painful. My fiancé has been cheating on me." Gasps. Shuffling. Whispering. I held up my hand. "But that's not the worst part," I said. "The woman he's been sleeping with isn't just some stranger." I turned to Peach. "It's my best friend." "Peach." The silence was so complete you could hear the blood drain from everyone's faces. Peach opened her mouth. Closed it again. Her wine glass trembled in her hand. Jason stepped forward. "Okay, that's not fair." "Oh, it's not fair," I snapped. "Should we go over the messages you two exchanged behind my back? The ones where you laughed about how clueless I was? Or maybe the one where you said my parents were cool with it?" My mother gasped. "You were never supposed to see." That was all I needed. I pulled out the flash drive from my clutch and walked over to the laptop connected to the living room projector. It had been hooked up for a photo montage, or so I told my dad. Instead, I opened the folder labeled Congratulations. Inside, screenshots. Dozens. Jason sexting Peach. Peach bragging about how she had him wrapped around her finger. Even a selfie of her in his hoodie. The one I'd asked her about. I hit play slideshow and walked away. The room was chaos. Jason tried to unplug the laptop. I'd locked it. Peach was crying. My mom kept saying, Oh my God, over and over. My brother had his hands on his head, backing away like it might explode. One of Jason's coworkers muttered, "Dude, what the hell?" I didn't cry. Not once. After the show ended, I returned to the front. "Thanks for coming," I said calmly. "You can all keep the wine glasses. They're not worth much, just like the people who broke my heart." Then I took off my engagement ring, placed it on the table in front of Jason, walked past my mother, past my father, past Peach, who looked like she was going to vomit, and I walked out the front door. I blocked everyone that night, changed the locks, filed a police report for harassment after Jason came banging on my door at 3 a.m. screaming that I embarrassed him. Peach went radio silent. I heard through a mutual friend that her boss found out about the affair and she got written up. Her mom kicked her out. Her reputation absolutely shredded. But that wasn't enough for me, because the people who betrayed me weren't just my cheating fiancé and my backstabbing best friend. It was my family, and I wasn't done with them yet. My mother tried to show up at my apartment 3 days after the party. She came with a Tupperware container full of chicken soup and eyes swollen from crying. She knocked like she hadn't been a part of it all, like she hadn't sat silently while my fiancé and my best friend made a joke of me. I didn't answer. I stood behind the peephole, watching her knock, watching her pace, until she eventually left. She texted me an hour later. "I know you're hurting, but you shouldn't have done it like that." Like that was the problem. Not the betrayal. Not the lying. Not the sheer cowardice of every person in that room. No, the real issue was that I exposed them. Let them rot in their shame. By the end of the week, my dad tried too. He left a voicemail. His voice was flat, tired. No apology, no ownership. Just a pathetic string of words that boiled down to one clear message. Families should stick together. No matter what. Except we weren't a family anymore. They broke that contract the moment they picked silence over my dignity. And that's when I made my next decision. I wasn't just going to leave them behind. I was going to make sure they felt the loss. I started with the family group chat. It used to be filled with birthdays, dinner plans, baby pictures from my cousin Ava. I renamed it to Traders United and changed the group photo to the screenshot of Jason and Peach's infamous conversation. "You think she suspects? LMAO, she's too stupid. Her parents don't even care." Then I sent one message. "This chat is officially dead. Like your morals." And I left. I moved on to Jason's family next. You see, we were close. His sister, Ellie, was practically my own sister-in-law. We'd spent holidays together, went shopping for my wedding dress together, shared secrets. She had always called Peach weirdly clingy and warned Jason not to mess things up. She had no idea he already had. So I sent her everything. The screenshots, the messages, even the engagement party slideshow, which I'd screen recorded. Her reply was immediate. "Please tell me this is a joke. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I'm going to kill him." She didn't mean it literally, but the fury in her voice when we finally spoke on the phone felt like a balm to my raw skin. She promised to cut him off. I told her I believed her. I didn't really, but it didn't matter. The only person I hadn't confronted yet was my brother. He hadn't defended me at the party, hadn't said a word, and honestly, that hurt the worst. He was supposed to be my safe place. We used to call each other ride or die growing up. We had matching tattoos on our wrists from a dumb road trip in college. But when it came down to it, he died. He didn't ride. So I messaged him privately. No rage. No dramatics. Just this. You watched them do it. You let it happen. You let me plan a wedding around a lie. Don't contact me again. You're not my brother anymore. He never replied. I could have stopped there. I could have healed quietly. Moved on. But that wasn't the kind of story this was becoming. They hadn't just lied. They'd enabled it. Protected it. Encouraged it. They deserved consequences. So I started pulling strings. Jason worked for a small marketing firm where image was everything. They were obsessed with personal branding, social optics, and online presence. I remembered something from one of his braggy late-night rants. He was up for a promotion. Senior account manager. A big deal. So I made a little email. I created a throwaway address, attached the screenshots. He and Peach joking about office flirting, about clients never knowing, and I added a note. "Hi there. I thought you'd want to know what one of your top employees does in his spare time, and how he speaks about your company's clients while sleeping with his fiancé's best friend. Seems like poor branding to me." I sent it directly to his boss. 3 days later, Jason was suspended pending an investigation. Another 4 days, and he was let go due to conduct unbecoming of a representative of the company. Poetic, really. Now Peach. This part was fun. Peach had just launched a little online wellness blog where she styled herself as a self-care guru. Her brand was all about positive vibes, healing energy, and living your truth. She had about 5,000 followers and had just landed a minor brand sponsorship. So I wrote a guest post, titled it, "When the Self-Care Guru Sleeps with Her Best Friend's Fiancé, a Case Study in Hypocrisy." I posted it anonymously to a relationship subreddit and tagged her brand's Instagram in the comments. It exploded. Within 24 hours, her sponsors pulled out. Her comment section turned into a battlefield. One of her followers found the engagement party slideshow on TikTok. Someone had filmed it, and it went viral. Peach the Homewrecker started trending in local circles. She took down her blog that week. Still, that wasn't the worst thing I did. The worst thing was cutting them off and never explaining myself again. You see, abusers, liars, traitors, they want closure. They want a final confrontation. They want the screaming match, the fight, the chance to manipulate the narrative. I gave them silence. No more texts. No phone calls. No crying. No yelling. I didn't tell them when I moved. I didn't answer when my mom sent me photos of her crying in church or guilt-tripped me with "I'm still your mother." I became a ghost. Not a vengeful one. Not a haunted one. Just gone. But silence wasn't enough for me yet. I needed to reclaim something. So I took every piece of the wedding planning binder, the color swatches, the budget, the seating chart, and turned it into art. Literally. I created a piece called Absence, a visual collage of betrayal, burn RSVP cards, torn photographs, a wedding veil cut into strips. Every element told a part of the story. I submitted it to a local gallery under a pseudonym. They accepted it. When my work debuted, the story behind it went semi-viral online again. It resonated with thousands of people, especially women. The heartbreak, the cold methodical revenge, the power of walking away with your dignity intact. It became the most talked about piece in the exhibit. Peach's face was one of the torn photos. Jason's too. Fitting, really. They wanted to be immortalized in my life. Now they were, as the villains in someone else's masterpiece. But I wasn't done yet, because even with Jason jobless and Peach disgraced, even with my family shunned, there was one thing left to settle. The money. The wedding funds. And guess who'd paid for half of it? Me. And I had receipts. The thing about money is, it doesn't forget. Love forgets. Loyalty forgets. Even blood forgets. But money, it remembers. Bank records. Venmo receipts. Email confirmations. Every cent you spend tells a story, and I made sure mine had a satisfying final chapter. Jason thought I'd just disappear quietly after the party. That I'd take my broken heart and move on. That maybe one day, I'd even look back with regret about how I handled it. But I wasn't finished. Because while I had been planning our wedding, I'd also been documenting everything. I kept meticulous records, vendor contracts, deposits, shared spreadsheets, screenshots of every dollar I personally fronted when Jason's account was a little tight. And now, it was time to cash in. We'd agreed, on paper, that we'd split all wedding costs 50-50. That included venue rental, catering deposits, photography, even our custom invitations. I kept a folder labeled Wedding Budget, and it outlined exactly what I'd paid for and what Jason promised to reimburse. He never did. Until now. I filed a small claims case in our county courthouse. I included a complete spreadsheet detailing every transaction I made with receipts, emails, and proof of agreement. Jason got served at his mother's house 2 weeks later. He texted me, "Jason, you're taking me to court now?" "Really?" "Me. You bet I am. You owe me $8,227.41. "Jason, you embarrassed me in front of everyone I know." "I lost my job." "Me. You slept with my best friend." "You earned every bit of it." "Jason, you're cold." "Me. You haven't seen cold yet." Court was delicious. He tried to act composed, told the judge it was mutual spending, that I was acting irrational and spiteful. Then I pulled out our wedding planning agreement. Signed. Dated. Printed from his email. Jason's expression cracked like glass. The judge barely needed 10 minutes to rule in my favor. He was ordered to pay in full within 60 days or face wage garnishment, which would have been great if he had a wage. Turns out, after his job dumped him, he tried freelancing. His rep was too damaged. He had to take a warehouse job. Hourly pay, night shifts, minimal flexibility. Every paycheck, a chunk now goes to me. I don't even spend it. I just let it collect in a special savings account labeled, "For my future wedding, not yours." But even then I didn't feel free. Because I hadn't yet made peace with the people who started all of this. My family. Weeks passed without contact. Months even. Then one day, I ran into my father at a grocery store. He was standing in front of the deli counter, comparing prices on ham like nothing ever happened. I nearly walked past, but he saw me. "Hey," he said, almost nervously. "Been a while." I didn't answer. "You look good." I still didn't answer. "We didn't mean for it to go down like that," he said. "We were trying to keep the peace." I finally looked at him. "And you think I was the war?" He didn't reply. "You chose silence over my dignity," I said. "That wasn't peacekeeping. That was betrayal." He opened his mouth like he had more to say, but I didn't care. I walked past him and never looked back. My mother left a voicemail on my birthday. She cried through most of it. "I know I failed you. I know I should have said something. I didn't want to lose you. But I lost you anyway. I hope one day you'll forgive me." Delete. No message back. You see, people expect pain to be loud, dramatic, shattering. But my revenge wasn't rage. It was withdrawal. I didn't scream at them. I didn't argue. I didn't try to fix what they'd broken. I simply walked away, and I never returned. They lost me for good. Now I live in a new city. I changed jobs, rebranded myself, started over, took my art more seriously, built a following online. That piece I mentioned, Absence, ended up going viral. I was invited to do a TEDx talk on transforming grief through creation. I told the story, the entire thing. The audience wept, applauded. Several women hugged me afterward, saying things like, "You told my story. Thank you for showing us how to survive." And it hit me. I didn't just burn the bridge behind me. I built a lighthouse from the ashes. Jason still pays me monthly. Peach vanished from most social circles. Word is she moved states, deleted all her accounts, and works in a cafe somewhere under her legal name. Her wellness brand died overnight. My parents, still together, still pretending. My brother, I assume he's fine. We don't talk. I don't miss them. I miss who I thought they were, but not who they showed me they truly are. People ask if I've dated since. The answer is yes. I've dated. I've healed. But I don't give myself away as easily anymore. Love used to be blind for me. Now it's earned. Carefully. Slowly. And the moment I feel even an echo of that old instinct, that tightening gut, that whisper of something off, I walk. Not because I'm afraid, but because I remember what it felt like to doubt myself when the truth was right in front of me. I swore never again. This isn't a story about heartbreak. This is a story about refusal. Refusal to accept silence as love. Refusal to accept betrayal as family. Refusal to stay small so others can be comfortable. I didn't bounce back. I rebuilt. From dust. So if you're reading this and you've been lied to, cheated on, gaslit by people who claim to love you, remember this. They didn't win. They just lost access to you. And one day, they'll realize that was the worst loss of all.